Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the second episode of Legal Success Stories, where we get to shine light, the spotlight on exceptional individuals whose dedication, skills, and integrity have left indelible mark on the legal profession. I am Cynthia Ekeka. Of course, I am your host, and today we are honored to be hosting not just a lawyer, but a mentor, a leader, a visionary, the immediate past chairman of the NBA Lagos branch. And so during his stewardship, we saw exceptional leadership, we saw service to community, we saw lots more. When you talk about leadership, he was there. When you talk about serving the people, he was there. And I'm talking about none other than Mr. Bisi Makanjola, the past immediate chairman of NBA Lagos branch. Please join me welcome Mr. Makanjola to the show.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Excited to be here, and thank you again for the very, very flowery words.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, sir. It is an absolute pleasure to have you. So today we have a couple of questions to ask. We want to have a view of what your journey has been like so far, your successes, challenges, and how you were able to navigate them to be able to climb the ladder as much as we have done already. I mean, it's going to be like a very powerful thing for other lawyers who are looking up to you to know, so as to also shape their own career. So first on the list, looking back, right? What are the key decisions or turning points that shaped your career path?
Okay, so I went to King's College Lagos for my secondary school education, and whilst I was there, I was in the art class.
Okay.
So I was in art class because I did poorly in maths.
Yeah.
So I obviously gravitated towards English, government, and literature. And when it was time to go to university, I consulted a few seniors at the time, and it turned out that law was the only course I could study and run away from math for the rest of my life. So I found myself studying law. This was after I'd wanted to become an aeronautic engineer, petroleum engineer, all of the fancy professions, but not knowing that I couldn't achieve those fanciful professions with a deficiency in mathematics. So ultimately, I went in for law on account of my poor math grades, and the rest is history today.
Oh my God, it may appear that our two guests so far have some similarities. I mean, the other person we interviewed in the first episode, the person of Mr. Mofe Tayo Oyetibo SAN, also said that he studied law because he didn't like mathematics. And as God may have it, both of them are actually doing very well in the legal practice. So we are very honored to have you here, sir, and thank you for sharing such a very funny story. So what qualities do you believe that are essential for a lawyer to stand out in the legal profession?
I think that first you must be um, intentional, intentional in terms of what you want for yourself.
Okay.
Um, I You must be deliberate and you must be dedicated. Um, some of us just live our life as if it was a book, not
Mm,
knowing what's on the next page. I do not think that that's the right way to go. I think that as young lawyers, we should um, set an agenda for ourselves, create a path for ourselves, and work towards achieving,
that part.
those path or that
Mm-hmm.
path that we've set for ourselves. And in my own case, yes, I said I wanted to be a petroleum engineer and the rest
Mm-hmm.
of them,
Yeah.
but by the time I became focused,
Mm-hmm.
it dawned on me that I needed to just invest in law, and the rest is history, as they say today. And along the line, I'll share with you some of my personal experiences, particularly where I've worked,
Okay.
because the foundation again would
It's
help
very
you. It
necessary.
will help you in shaping your career ultimately.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. How important do you think that mentorship and networking is in achieving a thriving legal career?
No, no doubt, mentorship is key.
Okay.
So when we were much younger, we didn't have formal mentorship
Okay.
schemes, but now there are many, many of these mentorship schemes everywhere around. And personally, I mentor not less than 10 to 15 young lawyers.
Okay.
all of the interns that come to office, I make sure to have a sit down with as many of them as I can to understand what they've learned, and to make sure that they're going away with substance.
Yeah.
So, available people, young lawyers call me, send me their CVs. I try to fix them up in law firms. I try to assist them. I try to create opportunities for them. So for me, those are the kind of things that you get with having someone act as your mentor.
Yeah.
And my advice out there to all of our young colleagues who don't have mentors is to seek for senior lawyers to act as your mentors, and I'm sure that they'll be excited to work with you.
Okay, so you've spoken about the importance of mentorship when it comes to building a successful legal career. So that's on the one hand. So on the other hand, we have networking. How important do you think networking is also in building
Networking
a successful
obviously is key
career?
because I see to people that life itself is a ladder. So the people you meet climbing up the ladder, you meet them on your way down.
Okay.
Once you're done and you're coming back down. So I remember vividly, even as a copper, like I said, I've only worked in two places.
Yeah.
With Mr. Kupalati SN
Quality.
and also at Olaniwun Ajayi. And as a copper with Mr. Kupalati, I was taking a trial. As a matter of fact, I did an election petition. Yes, I did. And I
Interesting. As
remember
a COP
vivid,
member.
as a core member, absolutely, in 2006, 7. And I remember vividly that the chairman of our tribunal then,
Yeah.
incidentally, is now a Supreme Court judge.
Nice.
And I remember one of those occasions where he paid glowing tribute to me as a copper because he had gotten to know that this young lawyer is actually a youth corps member, and he had very, very glowing things to say about me.
So would you
And
consider that as one of the best days of your life as a lawyer? Having
well,
to
there was a day I had to engage in an impromptu argument with a senior advocate, also as a
okay.
copper.
Okay.
I remember, so on this fateful day, again, we had gone to the tribunal, and the senior advocate just, asked the tribunal to dismiss the petition
Oh,
on account of the fact that the petitioner was not in court. Some funny,
arguments.
reason, and
Yeah.
lo and behold, we went into an argument for about an hour,
Oh,
and the tribunal had to even return to chambers to write their ruling. And of course they didn't dismiss the petition.
Mr. Makanjola has always been that guy. Trust me.
And this was me as a youth corps member, and
Yeah.
I was not prepared for this. And those are the things that endeared me towards litigation. To be like, you know what, I can actually do this
Do
thing because
litigation.
I found myself was more as if I stumbled upon litigation. So again, networking is key. So all of the friends I made at that time, all of the senior lawyers
Yeah,
I had
useful
made
right
at that
now.
time, they're all my big bonds today, and we still maintain that
That
relationship. I met
relationship.
Mr. Pinero in the tribunal in 2006,
Oh,
and today I've continued to be friends with
with
KP,
him.
and so many other lawyers that I met at the tribunal. And that's the power of networking. That's the power of relationships.
Relationship.
For you to, cultivate those relationships that you build, because you never can tell where they would come in and they for you.
Handy. Oh, thank you so much for sharing such a thoughtful insight. So we all know that you just passed out as the MBA chairman. You're the immediate past MBA chairman of the most vibrant branch. Yeah, the most vibrant
Of
branch in
Lagos
MBA when
branch,
it
the
comes to
biggest branch in
the biggest
Nigeria.
branch in.
Yes, the
I thought
only
they said in
premier.
Africa.
Well, yes, the biggest branch in Africa. Yes, Lagos branch with a population of over 20,000 members.
Exactly. So, and you happen to be the immediate past MBA, the immediate past chairman.
Yes.
And so, what are the lessons, the biggest of them all, that you would say that you learned as the chairman of the biggest branch in Africa?
I thought I was patient, but I learned patience as chairman. I learned patience because lawyers always want you to, sort their issues out almost immediately.
Immediately.
Um, I learned to be patient.
Okay.
I learned to listen to branch members. And I learned to be available.
Yeah.
There are days when I would just get a call and someone say, "Oh, chairman, I've just been arrested by last man." Like, okay, and then I'll jump, I'll jump on the
Can
assignment
imagine.
and try to
Yeah.
sort out the lawyer. I get random calls. Oh, chairman, this judge did not sit, or
Yeah.
this judge just insulted me. And then we jump on the issue and try to solve it. So I learned to be patient. And I learned to be available. and I learned to, let members feel that for at least you have a chair who listens to them, who is available for them, and who is able to address their issues. I learned those things. And one other thing that I learned, and this is coming from a former chairman who gave me this advice. He says, and he knows himself, he says to me that, BC, whatever you do, be the last person to get upset on the expo.
Mm.
So there are many times when things will be going crazy. I just remember that piece of advice. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Just control your emotions. And it helped me for the 2 years that we held sway as leaders of the branch.
Wow. So take home point as a leader, you must be patient and you should be the last to get upset. Thank you so much, Mr. Makanjola. So we all know that a popular saying goes, no, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
So we all know that being a leader comes with making a lot of tough decisions that you wouldn't have made if you were not in those shoes. So, as the immediate past chairman of NBA Lagos branch, what would you consider to be the toughest decision that you had to make?
I mean, there are many tough decisions, to be honest, but I think one that stands out, I like to think, is the one of the early decisions that we took, which
Okay.
continues to hold sway till today. This was a case where we removed a senior member from the branch's WhatsApp group,
Oh,
all of the branch WhatsApp group, because this senior member had authored a publication that we felt was entirely inaccurate.
okay.
And this senior member, I personally approached him and gave him the opportunity to retract it and correct the misleading information, which
Information.
obviously it not only embarrassed the ESCOs, but also embarrassed the branch.
Mm-hmm.
And the senior lawyer refused to, and we took, as an executive committee,
Yeah.
took the painful decision to just, yank him off all of the groups.
Oh.
I mean, it seemed a bit harsh,
Mm-hmm.
but at that point, it was one of the ways in which we felt that we could protect the integrity of the branch, because indeed nobody is bigger than the branch. And if you
I agree.
author a communication that paints the branch in bad light, you're given the opportunity to apologize and to retract, and you
Mm-hmm.
refuse to, then you should suffer the consequences. So, in as much as it may sound as if it was a mundane,
Mm,
action, but it was one of those, early things, decisions that we took, which was, albeit a bit controversial, and I'll still do the same thing if it happens again today.
oh. Oh, I think one of the great attributes of a great leader is being able to take responsibilities for actions, like doing the things when you're even called upon tomorrow to talk about them. They are the things you still choose all over and all over again because already, like before you made those decisions, we are meticulous enough to,
Absolutely,
tick all the dots and ensure
absolutely.
that it won't be detrimental to, anyone. Thank you so much, sir. Then moving forward, we would all agree that the legal profession is very demanding. It is not easy to be a practicing lawyer compared to you that you're even working in a very one of the top tiers law firms in Nigeria. That is very quite demanding. So a lot of people are curious, how was Mr. Makonjola able to juggle between working in one of the top law firms in Nigeria and also delivering exceptionally as the chairman of NBA Lagos branch? Some persons want to know this because they have the intentions to run for one post or the other, probably have not gotten do not have the audacity yet or the morale to do so because they are still wondering how they are going to deliver as a leader and also as a lawyer practicing. So how did that work out for you? How were you able to balance the legal responsibilities with being an exceptional MBA leader?
Well, first you need the support of where you work.
Okay.
In this case, I had the support of my partners at Olaniwun Ajayi and all my
Oh,
colleagues at Olaniwun Ajayi.
great.
So much so that at the point when I was running for election, I had campaigned to say that I would be on secondment to the NBA, because we
Oh.
had studied the NBA and we had seen that it was almost impossible for a chairman
Mm-hmm.
to have time dedicated to the affairs of the bar and also run a business and a successful business at that. It's
Mm.
impossible, to be honest. Let's be sincere to ourselves, because there'll be days when you would have competing challenges between meeting up with your client's instructions and also attending to NBA work. So I
Nice.
had gone in to say that I would be on secondment, and indeed, for the 2 years I was chair, I had the privilege of Olaniwun Ajayi allowing me to give me a free hand to work as teacher of the NBA, even to the extent of even giving me some of my colleagues in the office to support me because of this work. So I had colleagues who were going out with me in terms of going to events, helping me to write my speeches, helping me to write my letters. Um, I could bounce off ideas with my partners. I could, approach my partners to help to secure one or two resource persons, help to secure one or two sponsors for events. So I leverage on the institution of Olaniwun Ajayi for the 2 years I was chair. And I must admit that there were days that I felt, I'm a lawyer now, come on now, let me do this work. So I would struggle to get on some assignments,
Yeah.
go to court to
I
represent
can
some
imagine.
clients. For one or two occasions, I remember Alex Moka reminding me that, Chairman, you said you'd be on second, what are you doing in court? And I said to him that, look, the chairs before me had caused a big problem because they all left chairmanship and became senior advocates, became attorney general. And so I wouldn't be the exception. So I
Yeah,
needed to get my hands
definitely.
dirty too, in terms
Definitely.
of client work. So, but talking more seriously, I had the backing of the institution of Olaniwun Ajayi, and it helped me a lot, such that I could have time to do NBA work.
Yeah.
And if you talk to the guys at the NBA secretariat, I was resuming there at sometimes I get to the NBA office before them at 8 o'clock on a Monday morning.
Wow.
And I'm there Monday to Friday. Sometimes I'm there 2 or 3 times a week. And I think it was more of a passion of wanting to serve, and because some of us armchair critics had for a long time been saying, "Oh, what does NBA do for me? What does NBA do for me?" And so this was our own time to put our money where our mouth was, to do something for the NBA and stop complaining. So enough of being an armchair critic. Get there and get the work done, and OA, give me the platform to get the work done, and I'm entirely grateful to my partners and all my colleagues at Olaniwun Ajayi.
It's a big shout out to Olaniwun Ajayi for dashing Mr. Makanjola to NBA for the 2 years he was in office. It's not easy. He had the backing of his office, and no wonder he was able to do exceptionally well. So, you as a lawyer, a young lawyer or old lawyer, anyone, and you have intentions of running for office and you're working for yourself, be ready to make sacrifices. If you're working for someone that's for a law firm or any organization, please make sure you have the support of that organization, because it's going to go a long way in how well you're going to deliver as a leader. A big shout out to Olaniwun Ajayi once more. Thank you so much. Mr. Makanjola, what mistakes, or what is that one mistake that you've seen young lawyers make often, and what do you think that can be done to stop that?
Um, I like to I like to reframe that question to say
Okay.
that what are the things that young lads should reconsider. I
Okay.
don't. I
You don't want to
I
call
don't
it
accept
mistake.
that they're
Oh,
mistakes.
okay, okay, okay,
So what
okay.
should young lads
Reconsider.
reconsider doing? So I think the starting point is we should consider not setting up shop immediately we leave law school.
Okay.
I know that some of our colleagues graduate from law school today and open Bisi and Cynthia law firm tomorrow. I mean, it's a laudable initiative. But the closest example I can give is, say, when you go to the mechanic workshop, you won't allow an apprentice fix your car.
Okay.
You wait for the big boss. You prefer the big boss to fix your car. And I apologize that I'm demeaning the profession by such an example, but it's just an example that I'm trying to use to pass a message across.
Yeah.
So,
Get that.
so the point really is that young lawyers should consider learning a lot more and not, setting up shop immediately.
Okay.
And then the other point that I like young lawyers to consider is don't be all out there looking for money, money, money. I know the economy may not be what we want it to be today, but let's try to learn a lot more.
Okay.
I've only worked in 2 places. I began my career at Mr. Kokolati's law firm. I was there from 2006 to 2008, and I joined OA June 2nd, 2008 to today. So I paid my dues.
Sure
I
you
worked
did.
for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
where I gained a lot of foundational
Experience.
knowledge,
Yeah.
where I built relationships, some of which I'm still applying to today. I met Mr. Kemi Pinero in the tribunal I referred to as a copper. Today, I'm great friends with Mr. Kemi Pinero SAN, right? I met Mr. Yetibo in the tribunal. I'm great friends with him till tomorrow.
Okay.
So I built those relationships, and I also talked about the fact that the chairman of our tribunal in 2006 then is now a sitting judge of the Supreme Court, justice of the Supreme Court. So those are relationships that you build by paying your dues.
Yeah.
I may be an exception. That it works for me doesn't mean
I
that it
mean, to
work
work
for
for the
everybody,
other
and that's
person.
why I try to rephrase the question. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to accept that there are mistakes,
Mistakes.
but they
Yeah.
are just points for young lawyers to note, to just to reconsider. It's not all of us that should graduate today and set up our office tomorrow. You
Yeah.
need to learn on the job, and you need to train yourself and develop yourself, and don't just look for money. I know that the monies will come ultimately, but just try to slow down a bit and accumulate enough knowledge and competence first.
The words of Mr. Makanjola, slow down. Jejely. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. If you okay, first of all, before I go to ask these particular questions, how do you think that lawyers can position themselves for leadership roles within the professional associations in the NBA or even any other one that
No, I
would be
think I
beneficial?
think to be a leader is not by accident.
Mm,
Nobody is a leader by accident. Um, you must have some ideas first, and you must be intentional about what you want to do.
do
You must have identified a gap,
yeah,
and then a solution, a plug to fix that gap you've identified, right? So really, look, many people want to lead, but they don't want to serve.
mm,
And I see that, you know, the other day, somebody came to meet me that wanted to run for national office, but he forgot to campaign to me about what I was going to do. It was about, oh, vote for me as opposed to I will do ABCD. So the point
mm,
really is this: most of us want to lead, we don't want to serve. And there's a difference between you leading and you serving.
serving, yeah,
I like to think that my S code reasons why everybody is playing glowing tributes to my executive committee is because all of us, each and every one of us,
first
went there to serve.
serve,
We folded our sleeves, put our socks up, and we served.
served.
We didn't go to old office. And I see that happen a lot of time in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA when people just want to old offices. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't in 10 years have held 4 offices. Now, come on now. How do you want to build a profession for yourself?
Yeah,
So, but back to your question, I think that one has to be deliberate about wanting to lead, and one has to equip himself with all of the resources,
exactly.
because I know what it cost me,
Mm-hmm.
leading the NBA Lagos branch for 2 years, and to be honest, it's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not. We can imagine. We all agree. It's not. It can never be for the faint-hearted. Thank you so much, sir. So, if you were to go back to your first year as a lawyer, as immediately you were called to the bar,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to yourself?
So I think I would tell myself to be more patient, right? So when we left law school, I had friends who were posted to banks to serve, and then they were earning far more than all of us that were in practice. In the beginning, some of us felt a bit jealous of our friends who were to the banks to serve. So the advice I would give myself then was, okay, maybe, well, your friends are in the banks, don't be jealous. Just continue to slave it out, and you'll be fine. But to be honest, then when all of our friends went to banks, went to oil companies, and some of us went to law firms, we're a bit not happy. We're a bit deflated, especially when we saw the lifestyle our friends in the banks were living.
Yeah.
And I know that today it may apply today to some of our friends who perhaps your best friend or your colleague is working for some organization where he's earning 4 times what you're earning. Just persevere, sorry, and just continue to focus on what you're doing, and the end will justify the means. So that'd be my advice for myself of 2006-7 when I when I was just fresh from law school.
Is this advice goes straight to our newbies in the legal profession, those who are just called to bar, those who are just starting up? Please be patient. Don't be distracted, or don't get jealous or beat yourself up because your colleagues or people that you just graduated with are working and earning times two of what you're earning, or even three times what you're earning. Be patient, learn from what he just said now, because at the end of the day you'll be fine. Trust me,
I mean,
you'll be
and one
fine.
other thing I should also add is that the moment your law school result comes out, that is the end.
Mm.
What comes next is what you make out of your law school results. So I made a tutor from law school. It was very, very disappointing. I cried. I was not happy myself. I felt I made a 2-1 in OAU. I mean, OAU was not, as they say, was not beans. So first movers would say then that a 2-1 in OAU was a first class in other universities,
But not
right?
in University of Nigeria. I beg to differ.
Cynthia, that's another conversation, you know. So yes, so I made it one in OAU and then a
Yeah.
tutor in law school.
Yes.
I was demoralized, you
Yeah.
know. So to some of my friends who are in that shoe, maybe you wanted to you work towards a first
The
class and
first
you made a two
class.
one, or you worked towards a 2-1 and made a two
Two
two, or
two.
you made a pass. Just chin up and just make the best out of the grades you have. You'll be shocked today that most of the senior layers today,
Mm.
their grades are worse off than what you currently have.
Yes.
Just ask your seniors in the office the grades they made from law school, and you'll be shocked that you made better grades than they did. And look at where they are today. So that again, it's another way to just inspire our people.
He has said it all. He has really, really said it all. Thank you so much, Mr. Makanjola. We really, really appreciate. So, what's the single most important lesson your legal career has taught you about life? Single most important lesson your legal career has taught you about life?
Life is very short.
Mm.
Wherever you find yourself, leave a mark. And the qualities of Cynthia is not what I say to you, but it's about what I say behind your back.
Wow.
I've realized that
Wow.
most of the time we are so badly behaved that people say bad things about us, but they are not going to say it to our faces. A few are able to say it to our faces, but it's about those who cannot say it to our faces, perhaps have the best impression of who we are. So again, what do people say when you're not there? Who are you? What kind of person are you? If we were to judge yourself, how would you judge yourself? What kind of a lawyer are you? What kind of a leader are you? What kind of a junior are you? What kind of a judge are you? What kind of a boss are you? What kind of a listener are you? We all know the answers. They're deep within us. So I think for us to just do a bit of soul searching and ask ourselves, if I were to appraise myself, how would I appraise myself today?
Mm. Life is very short. Leave a mark wherever you are, wherever you find yourself. This one is quite emotional for me. Oh my god. Okay. I hope we are learning. I mean, I've learned lots here. I've learned we are getting to the end of our this episode. But before we leave, I won't stop without asking this question. How would you define in one sentence, or let me just give you the leverage to do it the way you want to do. Or how would you describe a successful lawyer?
That's actually very tough. I think a successful lawyer is that person who is able to find fulfillment in the pursuit of the law.
Mm.
That's as short as I like to put it. Do you find fulfillment in this law business? Because I know video law is a business. It's a business because it is, I mean, I can't do anything else but law. I don't have any side also. I mean, mostly I have side also. I have no side also. I can't even, I don't even sell land. I don't do anything else but law. So I have no choice but to make make it from this law business. So that's it.
Do you find fulfillment in what you are doing now as a lawyer or being a lawyer? If you do, or if you have found that fulfillment, that means you are a successful lawyer. But if you are still working towards finding that fulfillment, no, it doesn't mean that you're not successful, but you are still, trying to
You've
reach
not
that
found
point. You've not
yourself.
found yourself. And if you can persevere, who knows? You will.
And it's not so much, it's not, fulfillment does not mean you have money.
Mm, yeah, it
It's
doesn't
not about
mean.
money. It's about
Are you
your,
doing well in what you are doing?
are you happy what you're
Are you
doing?
happy with what you are doing? Are people happy with you, what you are
So
doing?
it's not too much about money at all. There's so many rich leaders today who are not fulfilled. Are
Fulfilled.
not even happy. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled?
Thank you so much, Mr. Makanjola. Someone has said a lot. What an insightful conversation this has been. It's not just empowering, it is enlightening, it is educating, it is entertaining. What other word will I use to describe this? It is very emotional. I mean, interviewing Mr. Makanjola, there are a lot of emotional things he said, and I hope you will see that. You will see through his lenses and be able to also climb the ladder and hold up the integrity in which he's holding in climbing such ladder. Thank you so much, Mr. Makanjola. We are most honored. We are happy that you honored our invitation during this show. And you out there watching, continue building your own success story, your own legal success story. Who knows? The next person that will sit here that he's sitting now might be you telling us how you're able to navigate the challenges you are facing today. Once more, thank you very much, sir. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I've learned a lot from you, and I admire our young colleagues. I think that they're the future of the legal practice. Just keep doing well what you're doing, and the sky will be your limit. And thank you once again for inviting me.
Thank you. And having said that, without further ado, we have come to the end of the second episode of the legal success stories. Do well to stream, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms, and turn on your notification, right? So that when we post, you'll be the first person to be notified. Thank you so much. See you in our third episode. And until then, keep building your own legal success story. I remain your humble host, Cynthia Ekeka. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.